Sometime around the year 1900, sponge divers off the coast of a Greek island found something impossible: a lump of corroded bronze. Inside that lump was a clockwork mechanism with 37 precision gears. It could predict eclipses. It could track the planets. It was built over 2,000 years ago, and nothing even close to its complexity would appear in the historical record for another 14 centuries. In 1936, a couple in London, Texas, found a hammer partially encased in rock. The rock was dated to the Ordovician period, 400 million years old. The hammer was not a fossil. It was a recognizable iron tool with a wooden handle. It should not exist, but it does, and it is not the only one. These are called out-of-place artifacts, OOPArts, objects found in geological contexts so ancient or in locations so remote that they have no business being there. They defy the accepted timeline of human civilization. They challenge our understanding of history itself, and in many cases, science has no satisfying explanation for them. Some say these artifacts are evidence of lost advanced civilizations. Others say they are proof that our dating methods are flawed. A few believe they point to something even stranger: visitors, travelers, hands not of this earth. Whatever the truth is, the objects are real. You can see them, you can measure them, you can test them, and the tests keep returning results that should be impossible. This is the story of 10 artifacts that science cannot explain. Welcome to Fallen Frequencies. 1. The Antikythera Mechanism. It was found in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera. At first, it looked like nothing, a lump of corroded bronze encrusted with 2,000 years of seabed growth. But when researchers began to carefully open it, they found gears inside. Precision gears. Bronze gear wheels with teeth so fine they could only be seen under magnification. The Antikythera mechanism is an analog computer. It calculated the positions of the sun and moon with astonishing accuracy. It could predict eclipses. It modeled the irregular orbit of the moon using a pin-and-slot mechanism that accounted for what astronomers now call the lunar anomaly. It even tracked the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games. Nothing like this should exist in the ancient world. The most complex geared device known before the Antikythera mechanism was a simple water clock. The technology to produce differential gears would not reappear until the 16th century. The Antikythera mechanism jumps 1,400 years ahead of its time, and it raises a deeply uncomfortable question. If ancient Greeks could build this, if they understood precision gearing, differential mechanics, and complex astronomical modeling, what else did they build that we have never found? What else is still buried in shipwrecks and temple ruins, waiting for the right storm to expose it? The mechanism now sits in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. Its gears are silent, but the questions it raises have never stopped turning. 2. The London Hammer. In June 1936, Max Hahn and his wife Emma were walking along Red Creek near London, Texas. They noticed a curious rock formation protruding from the creek bank. Part of a wooden handle was visible, sticking out from the stone. When they broke the rock open, they found a metal hammerhead inside. The wood had begun to petrify. The iron had oxidized. But it was unmistakably a hammer. The rock in which the hammer was encased was dated by the Creation Evidence Museum to be from the Ordovician period. That is more than 400 million years old. 400 million years before humans existed, before the dinosaurs, before land animals of any kind. The hammer should not be there. Skeptics point out that the hammer was not found in situ by geologists. The Hans simply picked it up. The rock formation around the find site is Cretaceous limestone, which is still far too old for modern humans at roughly 100 million years. But the deeper problem remains. Even if the dating is disputed, the hammer itself is genuinely ancient. The wood has begun transforming into coal. The iron head contains chlorine levels consistent with long-term mineral replacement. This is not a modern tool someone dropped last century. Tests on the hammer's composition revealed it is made of 96.6% iron, with chlorine, sulfur, and other trace elements embedded by long geological processes. No one has been able to explain how a recognizably modern hammer ended up inside ancient rock, undergoing coalification in a formation dated to tens or hundreds of millions of years old. The London hammer is currently displayed at the Creation Evidence Museum in Glen Rose, Texas. Whether you believe it is 400 million years old or only a few thousand, one thing is certain: it was not supposed to be there. 3. The Saqqara Bird. In 1898, archaeologists excavating a tomb in Saqqara, Egypt, found a small wooden object among the burial goods. It was shaped like a bird, carved from sycamore wood, about 7 inches long with a wingspan of roughly the same. It was dated to approximately 200 BC during the Ptolemaic period of ancient Egypt. For decades, it sat in the Cairo Museum labeled simply as bird figurine, and that is what it looks like. At first, a stylized bird, perhaps a toy, perhaps a ceremonial object, but look closer. The tail of the Saqqara bird is not horizontal, like every other bird carving in Egyptian art. It is vertical, like a rudder. The body is aerodynamic. The wings have a precise airfoil cross-section. The proportions, when tested in a wind tunnel, generate lift. In 2006, aviation engineer Martin Gregory built a scale model of the Saqqara bird. He added a horizontal stabilizer, the one piece the original was missing, and the model flew. It did not glide. It flew with aerodynamic stability under its own design properties. The implication is staggering. Either the ancient Egyptians understood principles of aerodynamics that would not be formally described until the 19th century, or they had seen something fly and tried to replicate it. The Saqqara bird is not a bird. It is a model of a flying machine, and we have no idea what it was modeled after. 4. The Coso Artifact. On February 13, 1961, 3 men were hunting for geodes in the Coso Mountains of Eastern California. They found a promising specimen, brought it back to their shop, and cut it open with a diamond saw. Inside was not a cavity of quartz crystals. Inside was a circular metallic object, a cylinder of white ceramic, a shaft of magnetic metal, and a small copper ring around the outside. It was a spark plug, encased in solid rock, dated by geologists to be at least 500,000 years old. The object became known as the Coso Artifact. X-rays and CT scans confirmed its internal structure: a hexagonal metal casing, a ceramic insulator, a central electrode, and a copper ring. Every element was identifiable as a 1920s design champion spark plug. Except that modern humans were not supposed to exist 500,000 years ago. And spark plugs were definitely not supposed to exist 500,000 years ago. Skeptical geologists have proposed an alternative explanation. The spark plug did not spend 500,000 years inside the geode. It was encased in a concretion, a hardened mass of clay, rust, and minerals that formed around it in the last century. The rapid mineralization was caused by the heat and chemical conditions of the desert soil. If true, the artifact is merely decades old and the rock around it is a natural formation, not a geological timeline. But the original discoverers insist the rock was a legitimate geode with a hard outer shell of petrified clay and fossil-like inclusions. The spark plug has never been independently carbon dated. Those who found it have since died. The artifact itself has disappeared from public view, and the debate has never been settled. What remains is a single, haunting question. If a spark plug can end up inside ancient-looking rock by entirely natural processes, how many other impossible artifacts are simply misunderstood geology, and how many are not? 5. The Klerksdorp Spheres. In the mines of Ottosdal, South Africa, workers have been extracting pyrophyllite, a soft, layered mineral, for decades. And for decades, they have been finding spheres inside the rock, thousands of them. Small metallic-looking objects, some perfectly spherical, others disc-shaped, grooved around the middle, embedded in rock dated to be 3 billion years old. That is not a typo. 3 billion years. The Klerksdorp Spheres. Some are barely the size of a pea, others are several centimeters across. They have a fibrous internal structure, and the grooves that encircle them are perfectly parallel, so precise that some observers have described them as manufactured. Geologists say the spheres are natural concretions, mineral nodules that form when groundwater precipitates minerals around a nucleus over millions of years. The grooves, they say, are caused by the layered structure of the surrounding rock compressing the nodules in a preferred orientation. It is a reasonable explanation, but it does not explain everything. Some spheres have metallic-looking surfaces. Some rotate spontaneously in their display cases, reportedly due to the internal structure creating an unstable center of gravity. And the sheer number, thousands upon thousands, found across multiple mines over many years with such consistent shapes, strikes many observers as unlikely for a purely random geological process. NASA scientists have studied the Klerksdorp Spheres. They confirmed that the spheres are composed of hematite and wollastonite with a fibrous radial structure. They confirmed the spheres are ancient. They did not confirm they are manufactured. But they also did not explain how natural processes could produce such precise, repeating shapes across such an enormous sample size in rock that was formed before life on Earth was anything more than single-celled organisms. The spheres sit in museums and private collections, spinning, waiting for an answer that fits. 6. The Baghdad Battery. In 1936, construction workers near Baghdad uncovered a small terracotta pot, 13 centimeters tall. Inside it was a copper cylinder. Inside that cylinder, an iron rod. The whole assembly was sealed with asphalt, which served as an insulator. The pot was approximately 2,000 years old. This is the Baghdad Battery. When researchers at the Science Museum in London recreated the device and filled it with an acidic liquid, grape juice, vinegar, or lemon juice, it produced an electric current, small but measurable, approximately half a volt to 2 volts. It was a functioning galvanic cell. The implications are dizzying. If the Parthians, who controlled Mesopotamia 2,000 years ago, had access to electricity, even in primitive form, it rewrites the entire history of technology. Electricity was supposedly discovered by the Greeks in static form and not harnessed as current until the experiments of Volta and Galvani in the late 18th century. The Baghdad Battery predates Volta by roughly 1,800 years. What was it used for? The leading theory is electroplating, coating objects with thin layers of precious metal. Experiments have shown this is possible by connecting several of these jars in series. Another theory suggests they were used for a mild electrical therapy, touching the terminals to the skin to treat pain. Texts from the period describe electric fish being used for this purpose. Skeptics maintain the jars were simply storage containers for sacred scrolls. The copper and iron components, they argue, were structural, a way to seal and protect the contents. But 12 of these devices have been found. All share the exact same construction: copper cylinder, iron rod, asphalt seal. If it was just a scroll container, why the precise, repeatable design that happens to function as a battery? If a modern engineer opened the tomb, they would recognize it instantly, and they would be 2,000 years too late. 7. The Dorchester Pot. In June 1851, workers were blasting rock on Meeting House Hill in Dorchester, Massachusetts. The explosion shattered a large section of conglomerate rock, a pudding stone formation millions of years old. Among the debris that rained down, one of the workers noticed something glinting. It was a metal vessel, a bell-shaped pot approximately 4.5 inches tall, made of a zinc and silver alloy, intricately inlaid with silver floral designs, vines, flowers, and buds, artistic motifs that suggest skilled metalwork. The rock from which the Dorchester Pot was blasted was estimated by geologists of the time to be at least several hundred million years old. The pot had been completely enclosed inside solid pudding stone until the explosion freed it. 2 accounts of the discovery exist. The first, published in Scientific American in June 1851, describes the pot as a bell-shaped vessel of peculiar workmanship. The second account, less detailed, appeared in a small local newspaper. No photographs were taken. The pot has since been lost. But the Scientific American account is detailed and specific. It describes the composition of the metal, the decorative elements, the depth at which it was found, and the character of the surrounding rock. The magazine was respected then as it is respected now. It is not a publication given to hoaxes or sensationalism. How did a sophisticated metal vessel end up inside pudding stone that formed before the dinosaurs? There is no good answer. The pot's current whereabouts are unknown. Its existence is debated, but the original newspaper account is real. The witness statements are real. And the question, whether the Dorchester Pot was a hoax, a misunderstanding, or a genuine impossible artifact, has never been fully resolved. 8. The Fuente Magna Bowl, 1400 to 1530. In the 1950s, a farmer near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia was clearing land on his property. Buried in the soil, he found a large stone bowl. It was carved from a single piece of stone covered in engravings. He didn't think much of it at the time. He used it as a pig feeding trough for years. Eventually, someone noticed the engravings were not random decorations. They looked like writing. Specifically, they looked like Sumerian cuneiform, the world's oldest known written language, developed in Mesopotamia, 11,000 miles from Bolivia, separated by an ocean and thousands of years of history. The Fuente Magna Bowl. When researchers examined it properly in the 1960s and later, the conclusion was startling. The inscriptions, carved into a stone bowl found on a Bolivian farm, closely resembled Proto-Sumerian cuneiform. The symbols matched characters from the era of the first known cities 5,000 years ago in a region that should have had no contact with South America. Bolivian archaeologist Max Portugal Zamora studied the bowl extensively. Epigrapher Clyde Winters analyzed the text and proposed a translation, the divine right of the goddess Naya to approach the source of water. Others have translated it differently. But the consensus among those who accept the bowl's authenticity is that the writing is Old World in origin and found in a New World context. Mainstream archaeology has largely ignored the Fuente Magna Bowl. There is no explanation for how Sumerian writing could appear in pre-Columbian Bolivia without transoceanic contact. The artifact sits in a small museum in La Paz, rarely discussed, rarely visited. But the symbols are there, carved into stone, waiting for archaeology to take them seriously. 9. The Piri Reis Map. In 1929, a group of historians working in the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul discovered a fragment of a map drawn on gazelle skin. The map was signed by Piri Reis, an Ottoman admiral and cartographer, and dated to 1513. It depicted the Atlantic Ocean, the coasts of Europe and North Africa, and the eastern coast of South America in remarkable detail. But the map also showed something that should not have been there. At the bottom, beyond the South American coastline, was a landmass. Its coastline was depicted without ice. Mountain ranges visible, rivers flowing. It was Antarctica, a continent that would not be officially discovered until 1820, 300 years after Piri Reis drew his map. And the coastline he drew, the coastline beneath the ice, was not mapped until seismic surveys in the 1950s. Piri Reis himself wrote in his notes that he compiled the map from older sources, including maps captured from Spanish and Portuguese explorers, and other maps drawn in the time of Alexander the Great. He was not claiming to have discovered Antarctica. He was copying from source materials that have since been lost. U.S. Air Force cartographer Captain Lorenzo W. Burroughs studied the Piri Reis map in the 1960s. He concluded that the Antarctic coastline was depicted with accuracy that matched seismic profiles taken through the ice sheet. He wrote, "The geographical detail shown in the lower part of the map agrees very remarkably with the results of the seismic profile made across the top of the ice cap by the Swedish-British-Norwegian Antarctic Expedition of 1949. This means one of two things. Either an ancient civilization mapped Antarctica when it was ice-free, which would push the origins of advanced cartography back tens of thousands of years, or Piri Reis had access to technology and source maps that history does not account for. Either way, the map exists, it has been verified, and it should not show what it shows." 10. The Dendera Light. In the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, Egypt, there is a crypt. Deep inside, on the stone walls, are carved reliefs that have sparked one of the most persistent debates in alternative archaeology. The carvings show what appears to be a large, elongated object, bulb-shaped, with a snake-like form inside it. The bulb is connected to a cable or cord that runs to a box at the base. Figures flank the object on both sides, their arms raised as if in ritual. To a modern eye, the image is unmistakable. It looks like a light bulb, a transparent bulb, a filament inside, a cable running to a power source, the Dendera Light. Egyptologists offer a conventional interpretation. The reliefs depict Egyptian creation mythology. The bulb is a lotus flower from which the creator god emerged. The snake is the god himself in serpent form. The figures are supporting deities. The cable is a stylized stem. It is a perfectly coherent religious interpretation, but the resemblance to electrical technology is unnervingly precise. If you showed an engineer the relief without context and asked what it depicts, they would say a discharge lamp, the kind of high-voltage bulb that produces light through ionized gas. The serpent inside even has a wavy shape consistent with electrical discharge patterns. And here is where it gets uncomfortable. No soot from torches has ever been found on the ceilings of the deep chambers in Egyptian temples. The walls are carved with intricate details that would have been impossible to produce by torchlight alone. How did the artisans see what they were carving in the absolute darkness of the crypt without some form of illumination that burned clean? The Egyptians themselves left no explanation. The reliefs are not accompanied by text describing their meaning. They are simply there, carved into stone, visible to anyone who descends into the crypt, offering no answers, a lotus flower, or a light bulb. The difference is a question that has followed the Dendera reliefs for more than a century, and it refuses to go away. 10 objects, 10 impossibilities. The Antikythera Mechanism, a computer 2,000 years ahead of its time. The London Hammer, a modern tool encased in rock hundreds of millions of years old. The Saqqara Bird, a wooden model that flies. The Coso Artifact, a spark plug in 500,000-year-old stone. The Klerksdorp Spheres, metallic orbs from a time before complex life existed. The Baghdad Battery, electricity 18 centuries early. The Dorchester Pot, a metal vessel blasted from primordial rock. The Fuente Magna bowl, Sumerian writing in the Andes. The Piri Reis Map, Antarctica mapped before it was discovered. The Dendera Light, a light bulb carved into an Egyptian temple wall. None of these artifacts should exist according to the standard timeline of human history, and yet every single one of them is real, catalogued, photographed, tested, studied. What does it mean? I do not know. Perhaps our dating methods are wrong. Perhaps our understanding of ancient civilizations is incomplete. Perhaps there were cultures, advanced, organized, technologically sophisticated, that rose and fell so long ago that their existence left no trace except a few objects buried in the wrong layers of rock. Or perhaps the past is more complicated than we are comfortable admitting. One thing is certain: the ground beneath our feet is full of surprises, and every shovel full of earth has the potential to overturn everything we think we know. Which artifact unsettled you the most? Drop a number in the comments. Subscribe for more ancient mysteries scored with original 432 Hz music. And the full soundtrack for this documentary is available on Spotify. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Fallen frequencies.